Should you buy this light? Let's talk about it. Hey, how's it going, Internet? My name is Joni, aka Broadway Biker, your resident Internet bike nerd. And today we're talking about the NiteRider Micro Lumina 650. If you're new to this channel, hi, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. I'm a former bike shop employee, super all-around bicycle enthusiast, and all-season-long commuter. First, we'll just talk a little bit about the basic specs of the light, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Battery life, the modes, all that fun jazz. And then we'll talk a little bit about the user experience, pros and cons that I've noticed as I've used this light for 6 months or so. And then we'll do an actual field test. So we'll go into the wild and we're going to test two things. First of all, we're going to test how visible you are as a cyclist using this light. And secondly, we're going to test how well the different settings and modes of this light illuminate the path in front of you. So if you want to know if you're going to be visible or if you're going to have good visibility, keep watching this video. Okay, so the light itself. I think this is a very compact, sturdy little friend. The main modes of this light are steady beam and a consistent, what I would call flash mode. So what I see this light working really well for is people who need to illuminate their way and people who need daytime visibility, because the flash mode is super bright. It's actually recommended for daytime use. I don't have a problem with the battery life, but if you are someone that is riding on completely dark trails like all the time, like, I don't know, you're a mountain biker, you go riding at night, or you ride along the country lane with no lights, 2 hours isn't a lot of time to burn on the highest setting before you have to recharge your light again. So there might be something else that's better for you out there. If you're a commuter that rides through the city that has lights and then occasionally goes on like bike trails or stuff like that where you are really needing to see, like there's no lights at all, I found that this light works really well for that. The way that you get through settings on here is just by pressing this top button here. And this top button also has a pretty cool feature, which is it will tell you when it's out of batteries by turning red. By out of batteries, as soon as it hits 20% battery or lower, that puppy's going on red. Otherwise, blue means you've got 20% or higher and you're in the clear. So to get into all of your steady modes, you just literally press the button. If you want to go anywhere that's not steady modes, you're going to need to hold down the center button until you see the flash start. So let's do that one time. It's going to turn off for a second, so don't panic. And just so I don't strobe you out, now I'm going to go ahead and press it one more time. And this is going to be the walk setting. It is the lowest steady beam. So it's kind of like a flashlight, I guess. Yeah, I don't really use this one much. I'll use this one sometimes just as like, hey, here I am, please don't hit me. But if you really want to see, I'd recommend using one of the other two. And if you want to get back to one of those steady modes, just click it again. Bam, here we're at mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, and then if I were to hold it down, we would get back into flash mode. Something that I do appreciate about this light is that you can lock it, and it's not a perfect system. It does a pretty good job of making sure that your light isn't going to drain itself like in the middle of a day because something is going to like boop it in your bag. If you want to lock it, keep pressing it, and as soon as it stops flashing, you're locked. So if I click it once now, nothing, nothing, nothing. And you can kind of see it's even giving us this nice little red button telling us that we are locked. So one thing that has happened to me, if you're new to this light, I just want to say, is one time I locked it. I just gotten it. I totally forgot. I went to bike home. It's pitch black and I click it and I go, oh my God, no. My light is out of battery, because normally this red light means you are out of battery. But it was just because I locked it. So make sure if you do use the lock function, just really hold that sucker down for just a long amount of time. Aha! And in fact, your battery's not dead. We can see the light's blue, so we're ready to go. So just steady beam and then a true strobe flash on this. So if you're looking for something with like a nice pulse that has a consistency that is not this light, but if you just simply want beams or bam, 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 this light does that amazingly well. Another thing I want to mention is this is a super directional light. It shines forward. As you can kind of see, it does have our little, I don't know, what is this, a hat? I'm calling it a hat. It has a little roof on it to really make sure that beam goes forward. There's a little side spill, which we'll see when we go out on the bike, but mostly this is a beam that is going to shine forward and really make you visible from the front and not so much from the sides. So that's another thing to consider. Okay, really quick, I want to talk about the mount that came with it. So NiteRider transitioned to this screw mount, which I get it. I get what they were doing. They used to have just the pole rubber thing, but if you keep this on your bike, you're going to be just fine. But as someone that has to take my mounts on and off my bike a lot, I really hate it because it's not convenient at all. And especially, it's winter right now, so I gotta take my mittens off. It's 20 degrees outside and I'm trying to like screw this thing on as fast as physically possible, spending like minutes of precious finger time. It's not the worst thing, but it's not really quick. It's very sturdy. It comes with, this is optional. You can take this out, but it does come with this little rubber, shim, we'll call it, so it can fit a variety of sizes of handlebars. It works with all of the bars I have. I've got some pretty chonky bars on my road bike, and I haven't had any problems with it fitting. The only thing that you really want to know is that they are these two little notches at the end of your light. You can kind of see them right there and there. These notches need to slot in to the end of your mount or your light will simply fall off. So if I just slide it on, nothing, right? But if I slide it on and, wait for it, ASMR, that is when we know we are secure, everything's fine. Bump, 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 bump. Oh my God, I'm going off huge drops and I'm flying into space. So just make sure you click it in, and then to release it, the design is super easy. Also pretty hard to break unless you're like, I don't know, a super strong caveman. You just press down lightly on the tab and bing, ta-da. The charging port, just make sure it's fully closed. I'm gonna show it to you right now. We got this little rubber friend. Open the trap door. And there's your charging point. I just want to stress that I think sometimes people have issues and it might honestly just be a user error. Because as long as you just make sure, like you can kind of close it, and it's not fully closed. Do you see that? So just really make sure that whole thing is closed, right? You can see it's a seal now. And you shouldn't have any issues with corrosion or sand or salt or water or whatever getting in there. But again, just really squish that thing down, check all the edges, and you're good to go. I've ridden in the rain, I've ridden in the snow. I think those are the only liquids that come from the sky. And I've never had a problem, so that's my review. Okay. Enough talk. Now the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get out there on the bike and let's see what this thing looks like, and let's see how it looks if you're riding. All right, so I'm going to cycle through these pretty quickly, so go ahead and pause at the places that you'd like. There is a version with John wearing a safety vest and without the safety vest, just so you can sort of see where he is in some of the dimmer lighting. If you're sensitive to flashing lights, you're going to want to skip the next 5 seconds of the video starting now. Here's what the trail looks like in flash mode. Here's what the trail looks like in walk mode. Here's what the trail looks like in mode 1, mode 2, and finally this is what the trail looks like in mode 3. And now here is what a bicycle looks like coming towards you in walk mode, mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. Here I am at 60 feet away. And flashing lights again. This is what the flash looks like starting 400 feet away. This is what the flash looks like at 60 feet away. So in conclusion, I found that for, I would say, kind of like a mid price point light, like not something that's like $20 and not something that's like $200, I honestly think this is a great light. I got this as a package with the rear light combo, and I think it was around $70 for 2 lights, which honestly, for quality lights, is a pretty stinking good deal. Like I said, I think the strongest parts of this light are the ability to light the way in front of you with just a steady beam of light, and then also the ability to be seen during the day. I personally think the flash is almost like a little overwhelming at night in urban settings, because I'll point it down, otherwise people will be fully blinded because it's literally that bright. But if you're a daytime rider, you're gonna love this. I've had NiteRider lights in the past, and I had one issue one time with one of the charging ports not fully closing, and the warranty department was so easy to work with, they just literally sent me a whole new light. So I've had really great experiences with their warranty department, and I feel totally comfortable recommending them. I think that's all. If you have any other questions about this light or about bike commuting or videos you'd love to see from me in the future, please leave a comment below. I will read them and respond to them. I always just love hearing what people in the community are getting up to. You all have such great ideas all the time, and I love it when people kind of have a dialogue with each other in the comments. Obviously, respectfully. I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that, but in this day and age, you just never know. Anyway, that's all from me. Get your butt on a bike, and I will see you in a future video. Bye.